think we should really ask this question first to Alia because it's more recent in her memory. My school memories date back 36 years. So Alia, how does it feel to go back to school? She's a proud Jamna by...
My school time was the best memories I made. I have sometimes like vivid dreams about, hanging out with my friends by the water cooler and PT class and bunking class and all this stuff. And I actually, my grain of being an actor started from there. I did all that theatre and participate in all possible competitions. It feels great to be back to school. I always get nervous in front of principals, so I will always say good morning ma'am, good morning sir, and try and just stay out of the way because actually I'm very naughty at heart. You believe that?
You might turn out all right.
You were also naughty, I feel.
You think?
Yeah.
I was a terror.
Actually, you were telling us something very important right now in the green room. Why don't we share that with everyone?
Yeah, I used to participate in Model United Nations. I was a very accomplished delegate. Multiple time best delegate winner. Ranveer Singh. It's because here's one man, if I know one, who wears his stature very, very lightly. He's one of the most eminent and prominent figures in the history of Indian entertainment. His contribution cannot be emphasized enough, and he's still going. He's just getting started. But he's so cool and casual about it, He never imposes his stature upon you. He always speaks to you like an equal. He has respect for everybody. He treats everybody the same, and he is one of the most remarkable individuals that I've had the good fortune of knowing and collaborating with.
What a loaded question to begin with. And it's critical to answer this from the most honest space possible. So firstly, I do believe that cinema is a reflection of society and vice versa, because it also draws from, literally sometimes they say that, there's an exaggeration in Indian cinema, but a lot of those situations depicted on celluloid are actually very, very close to reality. And as a filmmaker, I've only drawn from human observation, from observation of the community that surrounds me, the society we live in, the people I interact with. It's very critical that, you understand the syntax of your surroundings, and then as a writer, as a filmmaker, you tell that story. Of course, some of us who've grown up in urban India have a certain understanding of those dynamics and relationships. And there are some others who are privileged enough to actually be exposed to the rest of India, can tell those stories with equal abandon. I do believe that the content today is definitely broadening the human spectrum where it comes to, I think, relationships and pushing the envelope and not sugarcoating it and not doing puff pieces of love and romance. We are showing the gray areas, and you have to know, as students, you have to know that life is way beyond black and white. We walk the path of gray every day, and that's not a bad thing, because you're actually, gray is a representation of your vulnerable side, of your true side. And I think whether it's OTT platforms, streaming services, or new age cinema, all of that actually exposes the vulnerabilities of human beings, showing things that are explicit. It's really actually about showing the gray. I've seen so many series actually that just speak about the gray. In cinema, though, we like the larger than life, over the top, melodramatic storytelling, which also what audiences want when they go into a cinema hall. They don't want to see that the harsh realities of life. They do want to see the celebration of life. Rocky or Rani ki Prem Kahaani is way beyond just being a Prem Kahaani. It actually speaks about so many things, which is not reflective in the promotions of the film or the content and units that we've put out there. It's actually talking about so much more. It's probably, I think, my most commentary-based film, but it's not in the garb of anything preachy. It's actually in the garb of entertainment, which is the best way, I believe, that you can actually express something, is actually coat it with entertainment, and it gets better understood. Maverick filmmakers like Rajkumar Hirani have actually done that so beautifully. And this film is actually a step in that right direction. When you see the character of Rocky and Rani and their individual families, there's a lot to kind of absorb and learn, but also be very humored by. You know, it's a film that I was actually dying to tell. And sequences in the film will remain with me as my most favorite moments in my trajectory as a filmmaker.
I mean, it's Karan Johar. This is the maker of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai and Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham. Like, these are iconic films that we've grown up on. And so for you to say that means a lot, Karan.
The first film to this, because when I remember I made Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, and I firmly believe that the gender politics of that film are all wrong. They're all wrong. It is propagating incorrect, gender politics, because it's about, there is a lot of surfaceness in that film. But of course you have nostalgia, so you love it. But you don't scratch the surface of the film and see that what Rahul is doing is actually not something that I wish the Rahuls in this audience, representing all the boys in this audience, would be.
Woke zamane mein nahi chalti kuch kuch.
It's not about the woke. It's about what the dynamics you show in cinema and how it is a strong representation of how it can translate into belief today. Rahul was like saying all wrong things. He was saying, "Hum ek hi baar jeete, ek baar marte." That's all everybody knows. Hum ek baar pyar karte, but he got in love twice. Hum ek baar shaadi karte, he got married twice. So he was contradicting himself through the film.
No, I think he means like if you were to release that today, a lot of those points would come across.
Yeah.
But I also look at it in a way that he said all those things, but he contradicted himself, and he had growth, which was also what you're talking about, Grey. That was so current even at that time.
But I'm also talking about the growth that possibly my storytelling has taken, because today my Rahul wouldn't be so surface about his choices, you know. I remember Shabana asked me...
But you made some really mature themes as well, like My Name is Khan,
yes,
Mushkil.
That happened all later. That happened later. But I was like, I remember Shabana...
And then Student of the Year, like the deepest one of them all.
The deepest film, yes. Absolutely. Spoke about... Student of the Year was my deepest cinematic piece of work. And I'll tell you why. I know we're saying this in humor, but it was deep of me to understand the genius of Alia Bhatt even then. I think my deepest contribution to Indian cinema has been the prolific Alia Bhatt. I mean, when I saw Gangubai, I was like, huh? I was like, how is she doing this? Who is this person? Who is this person? Who is this actor? When did she grow up? Like, because I've seen her like my own child. Like, my parental instinct came when I got to know her. And I'm like, my daughter is like playing this incredible part with such abandon. And I was like, this is not thanks to me. This is something she's done on her own. I haven't taught her any of that. She actually went on her highway all on her own. And I think now, as directing her this time and directing both of them, and I think I've taken over from where Rishabh started and started monitoring this session. But I have to say this, that I worked with both these actors, and I'm going to annul the fact that I directed Alia before, because she was another actor. I didn't know her as the way she is today. I don't know that Alia Bhatt. I know this Alia Bhatt. I know this Ranveer Singh. And I had one chameleon as an actor. Ranveer is nothing short of a chameleon. He gets into the skin of the character in a way where you forget he's Ranveer Singh and start looking and believing that he's Rocky Randhawa. When you see the film, you will forget he is Ranveer Singh, just the way you forgot he was Ranveer Singh in 83, or Jayesh Bhai Jordar, or Bajirao Mastani, or Alauddin Khilji. One of my closest friends saw the film and said, I want to be Rocky's friend. And that is what the feeling I hope that all of you get, that you hope that you have a Rocky in your group of friends. Both of these actors were feeding off each other's brilliance in a way that only a director can hope and imagine for. I was just sitting awestruck behind the monitor and hoping that, the shot doesn't end, the take doesn't get over, because they just are something totally special. You saw a beat of that, or rather much more of a beat of their initial chemistry in Gully Boy. And there were 8 scenes they had together, and every time they came on, I was like, these are my favorite parts of Gully Boy. And when I met them, and I was like, just give me a dose of that chemistry and take over as Rocky and Rani, and we'll have our Prem Kahaani.
Well, I think it's more like an exam, The beats are more or less the same. You prepare for it, you study for it. This is my process personally. You do your homework, and then you learn everything, and hope that you absorbed all of it, because when the time comes, it should be retained in your system. When the exam date, which is the shoot date for us, comes up, you kind of revise everything that you've studied. And then, you know, it's like show time is like game time for an athlete or exam time for a student. So the beats are very similar in that sense.
You know, I also feel like it depends on how you choose your characters and how you place your films. Because if you're doing, say, love story, then there's bound to be some trickle effect of those characters into each other. But if you do a love story, then you do a drama, then you do a comedy, then you do a thriller, you try and find people who are very different from each other so that they don't overlap into each other. So you get these words like chameleon, you get to say that, oh, she's or he's so versatile. At the end of the day, you want to be slipping into what you're doing?
Just distracting me.
Okay.
Just trying to focus on your answer. There is a lot to learn from you as an actor.
But now I forgot what I was saying. Basically, you understood, na? Ki ek alag hona chahiye.
What is your, how are you in maths?
How was I in maths? See, they are already laughing because they're like, ye to matlab,
It's rather presumptuous of you guys.
No, actually, honestly, guys, I was not bad till a certain grade.
Okay.
Then I decided that I'm not dissing maths. Maths is great but if you need it in your profession, then you should focus. Then I decided, पर ये तो चाहिए ही नहीं. तो मैं क्यों इतना focus करूँ? Why am I working so hard? There was a competitive spirit within me which needed to kind of do it. But I didn't drop maths. I had the option of dropping it. I didn't drop it. I took it.
Maths is rubbish. You don't need it in life. Yeah, baby. You hear that?
But there may be some students working hard at maths and you've just told them they don't need it in life. Poor things, they're going to feel so sad and confused.
Trigonometry, algorithm, ये वो चलना यार चलना.
All of you don't like maths? Make some noise.
You know actually where maths helps you, it's not the numbers and the calculation and the formula that you need to be quick with forming. It helps you in your day-to-day life to be able to think on your feet and to be able to make most with what you have and make 2 का 2, 4 का 4 उसमें मिल करके A into B into C into R whatever. You know. But the point is it should prepare you for life. And I feel there should be a whole separate subject which is dealing with life.
वो कोस्टा थीटा ये वो आज तक मैंने यूज नहीं किया अभी तक.
See, they're doing it. I'm not doing anything.
Dissing maths, huh? Just letting you know.
Oh, the math god will be so upset.
They may
with
be.
me.
But Ranveer was
मेरे जमाने में ऑप्शन क्यों नहीं था यार ड्रॉप करने का? आजकल के बच्चे लोग तो.
Ranveer, is there a subject that you didn't like? आपको पसंद नहीं था?
Which one do you think, sir? Which one do you think?
Which one do you guys think that you didn't like?
Mathematics. Yeah. मतलब मैं तो 5वीं में 5 बार फेल.
I didn't like science. I used to cry in my exams.
But there are 3 prongs in science. There's chemistry, biology, and physics.
So bio I loved.
हाँ.
Chem we have. Physics मेरे को तो कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था क्या बोल रहे थे मेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा.